Hi, this is Debbie from celestialastrologyhealing.co.uk, and today I'd like to share some interpretations of the upcoming total lunar eclipse in Taurus tomorrow on the 8th of November 2022. It's been quite a while since I've done a sharing. And so this is the first one I've done for a while. So hopefully it won't be too glitchy. I've been trekking in California on the rugged high Sierras of the John Muir Trail, which was a very challenging and stunning experience being in the wilderness. But now that I'm back, I hope to be fully immersed into my astrology and offering readings again. So I hope you find this presentation helpful to understand what an eclipse signifies. Basically, an eclipse is a full moon when the sun and the moon are opposite one another. So they're in a polarity of opposition between opposing signs of the zodiac. And in this case, it is in Scorpio, where the sun is at the moment, this Scorpio season. The sun is in the water fixed sign of Scorpio, signified by the scorpion with the very threatening tail. If Scorpios are threatened, the tail, the pincer, will just sting. So Scorpio is a very deeply passionate and sensitive sign of the zodiac, ruled by Mars traditionally, who is the warrior planet. So feelings can be very deeply felt, very intense, very emotional, with the shadow side of Scorpio when feeling insecure, of wanting control and feeling deep, intense emotions such as jealousy, insecurity, and possessiveness. But Scorpio has this skill of being healing and cleansing and transformative. So, and the opposite is the moon in Taurus, which is a fixed earth sign ruled by Venus, and the practicality and sensuality of an earth sign. Again, it's in a fixed sign. So there's a sort of resistance and resilience about oppositions, fixed water and fixed earth. So this eclipse is ruled by the goddess of love, Venus, Aphrodite. So I'll show the chart shortly, but I just wanted to share this lovely image of Stonehenge down in Wiltshire in England and the UK. And it's just showing what happens when the earth obscures the light from the sun, casting a shadow across the full moon. And it can appear very red depending on the atmospheric conditions, such as dust, volcanic ash, weather conditions in the environment around the earth at the time. So the red color can be due to refraction and filtering and scattering of the light by the earth's atmosphere. And apparently they have longer wavelength than blue light, which is bounced away. So that's a little bit of the technology or information about the color and how it can be observed. I don't believe we will be having the opportunity to see the eclipse very clearly in the UK. I think it's visible over Eastern Asia, Pacifics, North America, and apparently somewhere north and eastern in the UK, but it's around 10 a.m., 11 a.m. I think it lasts about 6 hours from when the shadow starts to when the moon begins to be emerged. But at that time of the day, the moon has actually gone beneath the western horizon. So at full moon, the sun rises and the moon sets. So I don't quite understand how it can be visible in the UK. But anyway, I'm not an astronomer. And this just is a lovely diagram showing the different castings of the shadow over the moon, which may be seen. And here's a little technological drawing which I don't think I'm qualified to explain, but yeah, it shows the moon's path, the ecliptic. That's an angle, so I think there's a 3 or 5 degree angle that the Earth's tilted on. And when there's a total lunar eclipse, it's related to the nodes of the moon, which are conjunct the luminaries, the solar and lunar bodies. So if they are conjunct very close to the sun and the moon, that's what creates a total lunar eclipse. But maybe, yeah, the umbra and the penumbra is to do with the shadow that's cast. So on an astrological level, I've got a chart here which shows what's happening in the heavens at this time. And what's very obvious is that we've got a lot of energy in Scorpio at this time. Just get my arrow. So here is the constellation of Scorpio. It goes around the outside of the wheel, Scorpio, anti-clockwise. Sagittarius, house here, shows us the first house. Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus. You can see the opposition from the sun at 16 degrees exact, no minutes, to the moon at 16 degrees Taurus. And you can also see the 16 degrees Uranus conjunct within 56 minutes of the moon. So this is going to flavor this eclipse. And there is the North Node, known in ancient astrology as K2, Rahu, the head of the dragon, which you can see is within a 3-degree orb of the moon. So that's why it's a total lunar eclipse. And when we go across here, we can see the sun is also very close to Mercury in Scorpio, which is about our communications. And then we also have the South Node, K2, the tail of the dragon, within a 2.5 degree orb of Mercury. And we also have Venus, who's still combust under the beams. When a planet is within 8 degrees of the sun, they're hard to actually see, so they can be more hidden by the rays of the sun. So there's Venus at 20 degrees Scorpio, 13 minutes here. And so this area here is very, very powerful at this time. I circle here, the opposition across here. So it will depend on where Scorpio and Taurus are in your own natal chart to know which areas of your life are being activated at this time. So if you were a Sagittarius ascendant, which is shown here in this particular chart, it would be activating your 12th house and your 6th house. The 12th house would be the hidden house, the place away from the public eye, and the 6th house is Mars's joy, the house of daily chores, work, ritual, service to others, related to your physical health. And the 12th house is Saturn's joy, the place of isolation, hidden place, and secrecy. Talking about secrecy, Scorpio is a fixed water sign, yin sign, as in yin yang, sensitive, receptive, and of the nature, water, fixed nature. So it's a very passionate sign. Scorpio is secretive. Scorpio hides things. However, Scorpio can delve deep into the dark shadows of the self and process things that are usually hidden away from ourselves and the public eye. So working on deeper levels of deeper parts of the emotions and what needs to be transformed and healed. And we have the Sun and Mercury, Hermes, the planet of communication, which is hidden in Scorpio. It's about the undercurrents of feelings, all at work with Venus, how we relate to others in union. Venus is the goddess of love. She's known as Aphrodite in Greece. And on one-to-one levels, it can highlight feminine relationships or how you interact with your partner in life or others. And it can be about your lusts, your desires, your urges, feminine, related things of passion, enjoyment, opposite the physicality of Scorpio. And we also have the south node of the moon here, which is about letting go. It's about relinquishing. It's about releasing. So there's an opportunity to process all the deep, passionate, intense feelings of the darker shadows of ourselves and release them to be healed. So during a full moon lunar eclipse or just full moon, things come to a head, to culmination point. They're visible, but because Scorpio is a hidden sign, they might not be as visible as we would normally recognize. So, but it is an opportunity for dealing with things that are hidden, have been unspoken, have not been expressed, to be healed and transformed for the self, for the future, to step into your stronger, more authentic selves. And at the same time, we've got this Uranian influence over the moon. Uranus can bring certain upheavals and unpredictable events or shocking events. So there can be unexpected outbursts or destabilizing expressions affecting the normally stable Taurian moon, because the moon is exalted in Taurus, very stable, but Uranus has been close and been in this house for quite a while now. But being so close to the moon, this may encourage and influence some sense of explosive outbursts, perhaps, or illuminating ideas, moments of clarity and inventiveness around the emotions and the self and how you are with others. So it can also affect the earth, such as destabilizing earthquakes and unpredictable events, which have become more highlighted lately. So yeah, this and the effects of the lunar eclipse can continue on for another 6 months, because the energies are still working across the Scorpio and Taurus axes. So talking about other influences in the planetary cosmic weather, as it were, we've had Mars in Gemini for quite a while now. Normally Mars travels very fast through one sign of the zodiac, and here it is in Gemini. Usually takes about 6 weeks or so through a sign, but the whole period of time that Mars is in Gemini is now about 8 months, due to, you see the R here, the red R, that's retrogradation. So this cycle of Mars in Gemini will actually continue until Mars stations direct on the 12th of January 2023. So wherever Gemini is in your chart, this will activate this area of life. And Gemini is the double-bodied, mutable air sign represented by the twins Castor and Pollux. Gemini loves to think, share ideas, debate, have a toing and froing, quite often times in light-hearted banter. But Mars is a planet of that usually likes to fight for what he believes in. He usually rules Aries in ancient astrology, in Hellenistic times, and Scorpio. So he's the guest of Gemini, and it's related to your thoughts and ideas and your mind. And perhaps this could be a time where the mind is overstimulated somewhat, because the action of Mars in this air sign is related to our thoughts. So we might be reviewing things or constantly thinking over things. But there is also the potential to have fun in Gemini, because there is a light-hearted side, a fun side, as Gemini is Hermes. He's the trickster, he's the magician, he's the traveler, he's the merchant. So this can be a time to develop these skills or review your ideas and thoughts and communications for the future. So Mars is in Gemini until he moves sign, called ingressing, into a different sign of the zodiac, which will next be Cancer up here. And that is on the 25th of March 2023. So at this time, Mars is in Gemini for 8 months. So that will highlight that cosmic weather forecast. And also, there is a T-square going on here across this axis of Taurus and Scorpio, around 16 degrees. Saturn is in a square to Uranus at 16 degrees to 18 degrees. And this has been going on, I believe, since about 2021. So Saturn represents the old ways of doing things, tradition, authority, patience, in a fixed air sign of Aquarius. It's at home in this sign, so quite strong and dignified in his domicile that he rules. So he represents the old ways of doing things and some sort of wanting to hold on and respect the ancient ways or the old ways. But some of those old ways may need shaken up, which is what Uranus here in Taurus will do. So that this is very, very fixed. So there's going to be the necessity to work hard to break down some of these challenging aspects due to the nature of the fixedness of this T-square in fixed signs. So yeah, I hope that this is helpful for you just to navigate these choppy waters that can feel very intense and all-consuming as we feel the currents of what's going on around the collective. And there is a sense that we can heal ourselves, come together with others, and make big changes from the grassroots up to heal the old ways of doing things so that we can work and support each other for the future. So I hope this is helpful. And if you're interested in a personalized reading, I'll put my website at the bottom, and I can work on that with you, which I can offer by live Zoom or face-to-face if you're within my vicinity in Scotland and the borders. And I send my shared full notes and live recording that can be sent to you personally, or I can do a recording without you present if you prefer. So many blessings at this full moon total lunar eclipse in Scorpio.